Welcome back to my channel and in my next video. Thank you for being here. If you don't know, my name is David and I am building the Rebel Outpost, which is my take on a secure homestead deep in the woods, because I think we are going to need Rebel Outpost in the near future. As you can see, things are not looking great. In the title of this video, the original title for this video is "The Suck Factor is Increasing." So what do I mean by that? Well, if you've had your eyes open in 2025, you are noticing that things are sliding downhill. So I'm going to give a couple of real life examples from the past week in my life. First off, Lowe's. It's a home improvement store. I think they're nationwide. I'm pretty sure they're a Fortune 500 company. Their number one competitor is Home Depot. And I go into Lowe's the other day for one reason and one reason only. I needed paint. But I looked on the internet the night before and noticed there was a Klein screwdriver. I think I have it right here. All black pack of screwdrivers and a couple other tools they had, kind of a special edition. I'm in the process of buying tools and I wanted some. And while I was there, I attempted to look for them. So I walk in the door. First thing I see is they have removed all the checkout cash registers. That's right. You don't even have the option to check out with an associate anymore. It's all self-checkout. Second of all, I noticed that the girl working self-checkout, and by working, I mean standing around watching everybody to make sure they don't steal. The number one thing I noticed was she was wearing a mask in 2025 up to her eyeballs. I go over to the paint section and a girl with purple hair comes over and she says, "What do you need?" I tell her, she said, "It'll be ready in just a few minutes." I said, "Thank you so much. I'll be right back in 5 minutes." So I go off to look for the screwdrivers, can't find them. For 10 minutes, I look for an associate to help me. There's nobody in there. The store is in disarray. There's no associates. Finally, a nice looking gentleman with a collared shirt on, black, didn't say Lowe's on it. He's working on the checkout machine. He's got all the computer parts pulled out. One of them is apparently broken. He's working to fix it. He turns and says, "Oh, I can help you." Because I asked the girl with the mask if anybody could help me. And she's like, I don't know. The guy comes over with his polo shirt and his khakis, which confused me, but he's helping me look for the screwdriver. I even show him on the website where it says there's 20 in stock. He can't find them. And I said, "Do you work here?" He goes, "Oh, I do IT for 8 different Lowe's." And he goes, "That's why I'm here today." So he felt so bad that there was no help in the store that he decided to pull away from his IT job of working on the self-checkout, which is the bane of my existence every time I go into a store. He decided to try to help me. He could not locate the screwdrivers and he couldn't find anybody to help him, and he worked there. Ultimately, I said, forget it. I'll order them online, which I did, and they came in 2 days. I go back to the paint counter and I said, "Hey, is the paint ready?" It's been 20 minutes at this point, maybe 25. And she goes, "Oh, somebody came up and asked me a question. It took a long time, so I haven't started yet." I don't know what's going on at Lowe's. I don't know what's going on in retail, but it is spiraling to the bottom and it makes the experience just absolutely zero fun. It's at almost every store. I'm not just knocking Lowe's. I can't stand Lowe's because it's always that way. It has been for 10 years. They are far below Home Depot, but now it's getting to the point where anybody that works there doesn't even really know what tools are or even where they are. They just pull out an app and look on their phone, and it's getting kind of ridiculous. So the product's not available. The store's dirty. I just can't believe that this is the scenario that Lowe's is operating in. But they are not the only one. Have you been to Walmart lately? If you haven't, you are living good and you are blessed. If you have, it is nothing but fats and slops. People are in their slippers. People are in their PJs. People weigh 400 pounds. They're pushing these buggies. And I'm telling you, it's an experience. Now, I haven't ran into any rude people or any problems in Walmart, so I will say that has not been a bad scenario. And my local Walmart actually is fairly clean. I give them credit. They do a good job, and the workers seem to do a pretty good job. But the folks shopping there could care less. You can tell when you go in the store, you have to pretty much self-checkout, but kudos to Walmart. They do still have a few registers open. But once you get outside, here's what you see, and you see this everywhere. Somebody empties their buggy and they just push it off to the side. They have full-time people bringing in the buggies because people cannot walk their fat selves over, or their skinny, lazy self over, and do the right thing and put their buggy up. And a lot of them park on the side of the building and just sling their buggy right up against the side of Walmart at the front. spiraling down. You're seeing it more and more and more. A few days ago, I had my credit card stolen. Well, a few months ago, it was stolen, and I had to go back and go on the internet and re-up every automatic credit card. Well, I missed one with a company called Lens Distortions. You can check them out, lensdistortions.com. They provide awesome sound effects, video effects, and music, and I really like their tracks. They're well done. It's a great company. I've been paying $29 a month for almost 5 years. I did not realize my new credit card was not linked up. So guess what happened? After a couple months, it disconnected. I went back to put in my new credit card. Can't do it. I can pay $800 for a 1-year subscription. I contacted customer service, and you know what they said? Can you guess? They said, sorry, the monthly plan does not exist anymore and prices have changed, so you can pay $800 or adios. They did offer me a discount. So in their defense, they were like, oh, you've been a customer, you can get half off the first year. It still made it like $40 a month, and you had to pay it as an annual payment, like right then. So you had to pay $450, and then the next year was going to be $850, something like that. And I was actually not even going to get the full suite anymore. I was losing like video effects or LUTs or something. So I was only getting about 66% of the value for double the price. And I said, you got to be kidding. The guy's like, sorry, take it easy. Anyway, so I lost that account. So no more Lens Distortions. I'm not knocking them, but they've changed their model, and one customer, they could care less. I'm looking at my screen over here. I made some notes so I didn't forget anything. So I use another software company. I have bought 51 pieces of software from them over the past 5 or 6 years for video editing and such things like that. And guess what? They have now gone where you cannot buy an individual product from them. That's how it used to be. They create a product, they release it, and you can buy it. And occasionally they went on sale. I bought 51 that way. Now you can pay $40 a month roughly, and you got to pay it all up front, right? So what is that? $480, almost $500. You can pay $500 up front to get access to all the software, but you're not allowed to license or buy software anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I reached out to him and I said, hey, is there any way I can buy this one new product? I would like it, and there's no option to buy. What's going on? They said, I'm going to put up on the screen here. I just wanted to mention that we really do appreciate customers like you. I said, I know you probably don't appreciate a single customer like me. How can you? I'm just one person, but here's my opinion. I told him that I wasn't getting a membership. And he said, we appreciate you as a customer and those that stuck with us throughout the years, which I did. Unfortunately, though, the market doesn't show mercy, and we've had to change our price model in order to stay in business. Parentheses, this was, of course, a result of several months long research on the topic. Meaning they said, we're not making enough money. We got to charge more, and we got to charge up front. As much as we'd love to keep releasing our products the way we did up until now, the way they released them was they made a product and they sold it. As much as we'd love to do that, there's not much that we can do. We can either adapt or disappear. Also, we really do listen to our customers, so your opinion does matter. After all, many products that we've released and many updates and adjustments we made are a result of suggestions for our customers. Finally, if you ever purchase any of our subscriptions, poke me and I'll offer you a little something extra afterwards. Take care. Let me know if you need anything. Now, that was a very nice email, and I appreciate the gentleman from the company reaching out to me. But ultimately, that confirms exactly what I have been feeling, thinking, and saying. And that is the rising cost of everything is going to destroy our country. Obviously, things get more expensive. You can't buy it. A lever action gun is $2,000 when it used to be $700. A new truck, like I looked at yesterday, is $101,000 for a Ford heavy-duty truck. I got 2 batteries in my Jeep yesterday, and I had to get a tow. It was $135 for the tow and 2 batteries. One, which was a small auxiliary battery, was $880. The high price of food, gas, insurance, water, computer software, laptops, clothing, office space. The high cost is just causing a big cycle of we must charge customers more to get more money so we can keep living the life that we're used to in homes and houses as HOA prices, fees, as insurance, as property taxes continue to go up. So what do you think is going to happen? It's going to continue. The cycle's going to continue. Every small business, every contractor, I can do that job for $14,000 in 2 days if you want me to. The job ought to be $8,000 for 2 or 3 days. And they're having to do that because their insurance is high and their truck payment is high, and their wife wants to go on a vacation to Destin or Mexico or wherever. And in order to afford these rising costs, airline tickets, food, daycare, they got to charge more. Everybody's charging more. Well, David, that's just capitalism and economics. No, it is far beyond that, because companies are stepping in and they're buying houses from first-time home buyers. They're outbidding them and they're using retirees' money. The system is whack. It's absolutely whack. And so this company admitted in the email to me that that's what's going on. Well, no, calm down, David. Calm down. That's just capitalism. People have to change their pricing model. That's 2 companies that I have relied on and have paid consistently, and now I will not use them anymore due to the cost is just no longer feasible for me. I'm not going to pay all at once, and I'm not going to pay double the price for 60% of the value. Not going to do it. I will make my own music somehow, some way. I will do things different. I'll leave music out of the video. I'm not going to do business. Now, these companies were not being rude, and I'm not saying they are necessarily greedy. I think they're being forced into a cycle of increasing price. Now, that's not necessarily greedy, but it's going to ruin the customers, and it's going to ruin the customer experience, because the people pushing the product know they're overcharging and know their customers aren't happy. I'll say it and I'll say it again. I've done business with someone and they've always been helpful, but I don't call on them much. You can probably guess what kind of industry this is. It's a private industry that government forces you to have and to buy their services. And I had a very bad experience after 15, 20 years of insuring insuring multiple things. I had a bad experience. And I believe the person's under stress because they're having to tell all their customers that prices are going up. But for them to be rude and be unhappy is not good. But I just believe that's the cycle. It's part of the cycle. They know that they're having to charge people more. People can't afford it and they're not happy about it. So they're getting yelled at or said, why can't you find me a better deal? It's just a bad cycle. You tell me in the comments, what do you think is going to make that end? How do you think that this is going to improve for Americans? I personally don't see any way that it gets better. I don't. Okay, next. Just the moral decay and the general common sense of people and the caring of people. I go into a grocery store the other day, Ingles, and it was after 6 o'clock, and apparently they take all their individual cookies. I know, cookies, right? I shouldn't eat them. I said, I need 4 cookies. And the guy says, we've already packed them up. He goes, okay, I'll unpack some and give them to you. He walks over, takes the top off with his bare hands. He puts them in the thing, comes over. If you say, hey man, you're supposed to wear gloves, they'll get defensive. So what do? Little things like that. People will not help clean up a business or a store. It's not their job. They don't care. They don't care to put on gloves. They don't even care that you're there. Customers at retail view you as a nuisance. Why aren't you using self-checkout? Oh, what's wrong with you? I watched a video today about a guy and a girl who are married and they don't have a smartphone, and they went to pick up a product and they were yelled at because in the checkout process, there's 3 or 4 ways you can identify that it's your purchase. One way is with your driver's license or ID. They did that, but when the guy brought it out, he needed to scan something on the phone through the email, and they said, we don't have a smartphone or an iPhone or whatever. And the guy got upset with him because he was so used to only doing it one way. So you see what's happening. People are saying, you're making my life inconvenient because you don't conform, or you're not using an iPhone, or you're not using self-checkout. What's wrong with you, jerk? So you go to these stores, they don't want you to be here. Very few people help you. And it's just not a fun experience. It's like, I have to go to the grocery store. I have to go to these places. If I didn't have to, sure, you can order the stuff and pick it out outside, but the curbside deal. But think about how that's destroying society. We're not seeing each other. We're not talking to each other. And those chance encounters for young people or older people where they might go in and have food or go in and bump into somebody, and maybe a widow and an older person, they see each other in the grocery store, they meet and they become friends or they get married. And tell me, when you go to parks or when you go to downtown areas, they're supposed to be nice. You see trash. Maybe you don't notice trash. I notice it. I see it everywhere. Trash. Citizens and individuals will just throw their trash down. And cities can't pay people enough to pick the trash up. Dirty. Parks. Parks are full of homeless people. Parks are full of illegals. Parks are full of criminals. If you're a female and you run in a park, good luck. Good luck. That's dangerous. And I say take pepper spray with you and a knife. And that's not fun when you're trying to run to stay in shape. You better run during the middle of the day. And a lot of these parks, it's not even safe then. You're getting more and more regular bums. There are plenty of people who are down on their luck, and I feel bad for them. But cops are being told by city council members who are in charge, don't mess with the homeless. Don't arrest them. Don't give them a citation. Give them a pass. They wouldn't give me a pass. If I park my Jeep or my truck wrong, they'll pull over, turn on their lights and say, hey, I'm giving you a warning. Get out of here for this or that. I'm telling you, it's not the same. You go to the park, families are trying to enjoy it, and you got people hanging out with their pants down to their knees. They're blaring little speakers. They're on a pink bike. Tell me a big 5'11", 6'2" dude with his pants hanging down, blaring a speaker, riding a purple bike. Where'd he get that purple bike from? Church give it to him? Maybe. I don't know. Hiking and camping. Check out this story that happened in Arkansas.
Two bodies down here.
Tonight, an urgent manhunt is underway in Arkansas for the man who police say committed a horrific double murder, killing a couple hiking with their young daughters. The man attacked the Brink family on a walking trail in Devil's Den State Park Saturday afternoon, according to police. They say Clinton and Kristen Brink's 7- and 9-year-old daughters managed to get away unharmed and find help.
2 children are there. They advised that their parents were assaulted. One was possibly stabbed.
At first, officers scouring the park thought they heard signs of life.
Hear yells calling for help. We're hiking down.
10-4, we're hearing them too.
But then they say they made a grisly discovery, finding Clinton and Kristen Brink dead on a trail.
Hiking and camping is not safe anymore. A few weeks ago, a family in Arkansas, as you just saw the clip I showed, a husband was murdered by a random guy, and this guy was going to be a school teacher. He was going to be a school teacher. This family goes out, and all they wanted to do was to be in nature with their children, and they were killed. On top of that, there was a teenage couple in the 17-year-old range, high school kids. They went camping. They were killed and murdered for no reason by a stranger while camping. Is it safe to go camping? Is it safe to go hiking? I don't know. I'm not going that often. I've cut back. Why even risk it with the mental illness and the unhappy people out there looking to cause problems? I'll tell you, I've got a new product that I will review, and I no longer go hiking or walking in the woods the same way. I'll show you that product, and it might be something that interests you. But ladies and gentlemen, don't go in the woods without protection. So the activities that we've been doing are not as fun. The interactions with human beings feel like a burden. Like, may I have this? Seems like, oh gosh, I got to get this. Am I going to the wrong restaurants? Am I going to the wrong retail? I don't know. Look, I used to be, one of my quotes, I was about to say I used to be the most positive person I know, but one of my quotes said, be the most enthusiastic person that you know. That was always one of my life goals, to encourage and lift people up.
As long as you are awake, you have a fighting chance to win, a fighting chance to reach your goals, a fighting chance to make your dreams become a reality. And I'm going to tell you this, if you're awake and you're alive today, I'm going to make sure you have a fighting chance. If I'm alive, everybody I know is going to have a fighting chance. Look, I'm out there failing, trying, doing my best.
And I still am into that. But I have to be honest with you. When I look with my own eyes, or I research on YouTube or the internet, and I look and I see what people are going through, high tax bills on their property, or increasing price of everything, daycare going up. When I see all this stuff, power bills, $600, $700, $800. When I see this and people are struggling, and I've talked to the people personally about power bills, 1,400 square foot townhome, family of 4, $380 power bill in August. Seems kind of high to me. When I see these things, I'm not negative, but I am black-pilled. I do not see solutions. I think becoming self-dependent, less dependent on the system is a must. If you can learn skills to grow food, hunt food, anything you can do. So you need less Walmart, less Target, less retail, and more self-sufficiency, anything you can do. And building a community of local and like-minded people. We all talk about building community, but what are we actually doing? If things go bad with the SNAP situation, and things go sideways and people are causing a ruckus in your neighborhood, do you know your neighbors and are they going to look out for you? My guess is probably not. So consider, how can you work on a community? I've got to do the same thing. My main takeaway from this is, what is the way to break out through this cycle? You and I need power. You and I need fresh water. You and I need food. You and I need to be able to drive a vehicle. But they are taxing you to death. They're increasing the price of everything. And now they're increasing surveillance to watch everything you do online and in person. Just do a quick Google search for the company Flock, the one in Denver, where they now have cameras on almost every corner in Denver that reads your tag, databases it, and now they have drones that actually will leave the police department, track vehicles if need be, and can respond and talk to people so officers don't even have to go out anymore. And all this data is going to be databased and sold and given to guess who? To guess who? Federal government. You got that right. Every time you drive, they're going to track you. So where does this all go? How does it end? I'm not sure. But if you got any ideas, leave it in the comments. I'm going to keep growing food. I'm going to keep studying. I'm going to keep shooting my guns and sharpening my knives and training my dog and being kind to my neighbors and ultimately praying. Hopefully it'll work out, but I don't see a solution right now. In the meantime, I bought a new Casio watch for less than $25, and I'm very thrilled. I'll make a video on it. Keeping time. It's not analog, it is digital, but it's more simple than my smartphone, and I'm trying to be simple. That's one of my goals. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. We're going to be okay. We're Americans. We're tough, but I think we need to buckle up for a bumpy ride. What do you think? Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe if you'd like to. Stay safe, stay wild, stay free. It's up to us. If you're listening to this message, you are the resistance. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.